If you're a true Liverpool fan, subscribe to Anfield Signal. Liverpool news: Van Dijk makes big transfer demand as star may never play for club again. The Liverpool skipper has made a transfer declaration as the Reds gear up for an FA Cup clash this weekend. After getting back to winning ways in the Premier League in midweek, Liverpool will be turning their attention to Saturday evening's FA Cup clash with Brighton. Arne Slot will no doubt be keen to make a mark in this year's competition after his side were dumped out by Plymouth Argyle in a fourth-round shock 12 months ago. It's been a tough season for the defending Premier League champions, having stumbled in their pursuit to retain the title. The FA Cup, alongside the Champions League, now offers Liverpool their best hope of capturing silverware this campaign. However, Liverpool are having to contend with a brewing injury crisis. Mirror Football takes a look at today's latest Liverpool news. Liverpool captain Van Dijk has shared his hope that Liverpool can tie Ibrahima Konaté to a new contract. The French defender's deal is up this summer with no breakthrough in sight, meaning, as it stands, he can leave as a free agent with Real Madrid thought to be interested. The Dutchman opened up on the world-class centre-back and insisted he wants to partner in Konaté in the heart of Liverpool's defence for a long time to come. However, he admitted the situation is in the club's hands. "We are friends," Van Dijk said of Konaté. "We speak about everything. It's a process and let's see what comes out of it. It's never that easy. We saw with my contract situation last year, so it's never that easy that we can just say, let's get it done. Obviously I want him to stay. He's an important figure on the pitch. That's what everyone sees, but off the pitch as well, he's one of the leaders. He's outstanding and in my eyes, a world-class centre-back. I can do only so much, but it's in the club's hands, together with his agents and himself, so let's see what comes out of it, but I have no influence otherwise on that. It was not my decision to leave my contract that late, but it is what it is. There is always hope for Konaté staying." Endo's devastating injury against Sunderland could spell the end of his Liverpool career. The 33-year-old suffered a severe injury after landing awkwardly on his ankle. The captain of Japan joined Liverpool in 2023 from Stuttgart for £12 million. However, the tough-tackling star is out of contract in 2027, and it's believed that the Premier League champions would entertain offers for the player. The defensive midfielder was reportedly close to a move to Marseille in 2024. Other teams across Germany and England are also rumored to be in for him. Liverpool boss Slot conceded that Endo will be out for an extended period of time, hinting that the injury has brought an abrupt end to the player's season. "I assume he will be out for a long time." What is long? It is difficult to say at this moment, but you can hardly believe what this right fullback position brings us this season, Slot said after the Sunderland game. It was a cruel twist of fate for Endo, with the Japanese star deputizing at right back against the Black Cats, an area that has become a problem position for Liverpool this season. Slot has already had to contend with injuries to first-choice right-backs Jeremy Frimpong and Connor Bradley, while Dominic Szoboszlai, who has also played in the role, was unavailable for the Sunderland clash through suspension. Liverpool transfer news as $95 million Barcelona star considered and bid ready for defender. Liverpool transfer news as a Barcelona star is reportedly being considered for a move to Anfield, while the Reds are claimed to be readying a bid for a new defender. Liverpool has plenty of work still to do this season, but it's already clear that the Reds will need to make some moves in the summer transfer window once it opens. Arne Slot's side gave its Champions League hopes a major boost with victory over Sunderland on Wednesday, and the Liverpool boss has already suggested a place at Europe's top table will be the only acceptable outcome, with the impact it could have on any summer business clear. Jeremy Jacquet is already on the way, but the Reds look as though they will need more defensive options, with two more being linked in the latest set of rumors. Barcelona defender Jules Koundé is being linked with a move to Liverpool. Spanish outlet Mundo Deportivo cites a supposed report from the Daily Mail claiming the Reds are willing to pay €80 million, $95 million, for the 27-year-old, although we've been unable to find any such report. Nevertheless, Mundo Deportivo suggests Barca might be tempted into selling Koundé at that price. That's suggested as the minimum the Catalan giants would accept, with the French international said to be holding a €1 billion release clause in his contract, which of course is never going to happen. Liverpool is being linked with Charlie Cresswell once again, with Sports Boom suggesting that the Reds are among a number of sides keen on the Toulouse defender. Cresswell was linked with a move to Anfield last summer, although nothing came of the speculation. The Reds are claimed to have maintained an interest, along with Tottenham, West Ham, Chelsea, Brighton, and Crystal Palace. Liverpool will reportedly table a bid of over €30 million, $36 million, which could be enough to persuade Toulouse to part with the 23-year-old. Jamie Carragher delivers prediction for Liverpool game versus Brighton in FA Cup. The FA Cup is the only domestic trophy that Liverpool is still in contention to win this season, and the Reds welcome Brighton to Anfield in the fourth round this weekend. Jamie Carragher believes Liverpool will beat Brighton this weekend to make it into the fifth round of the FA Cup. The two teams will face off in an all-Premier League clash at Anfield on Saturday, with Arne Slot looking to keep the club's hopes of winning domestic silverware this season alive. The Premier League title will not be staying at Anfield beyond the summer, while the Reds lost early on in the Carabao Cup, so the FA Cup is the only domestic trophy that Liverpool is still in contention to win. Liverpool always beat Brighton at home surely, Keane said, before Carragher responded. It was 2-0 to Liverpool against Brighton in the league when the two teams met in December. I feel this might just be a flat game. Delivering his final score prediction, Keane said, I think 2-1 Liverpool. I'll give Brighton a goal. Brighton will score, Danny Welbeck will score. Carragher responded, I'm going to go 1-0 to Liverpool. They played Wednesday night and now they play Saturday night, it's a quick turnaround. Meanwhile, Liverpool is waiting to find out more about the extent of the injury that midfielder Wataru Endo sustained during Wednesday's win over Sunderland in the Premier League. Endo was taken off on a stretcher during the second half, and Arne Slot admitted after the game that he expects the Japan international to be sidelined for some time. Yes, it's a serious one, Slot said. How serious we don't know yet because it still has to be assessed tomorrow, but it doesn't look good. I'm not too sure if it's his ankle. It's his foot, but if it is his ankle or his foot, that is what we have to assess tomorrow. The Reds remain without long-term absentees Alexander Isak, Giovanni Leone and Connor Bradley for the visit of Brighton, while it remains unclear when Jeremy Frimpong, who is nursing an injury for a third time this season, will return. Dominic Szoboszlai will be available for selection once again after serving a one-game suspension against Sunderland, following his red card in stoppage time of Liverpool's defeat by Manchester City over the weekend. Liverpool must not allow unthinkable to happen as Alexander Isak injury reality bites. One of the things that jumped out at Liverpool when they were pursuing Hugo Ekitike was just how high his ceiling was, despite being in possession of an all-round game that had already led them to the brink of a £79 million deal with Eintracht Frankfurt. In their view, the then France under-21 international was good enough to become known, in time, as one of the world's finest frontmen. With 15 goals in his debut campaign at Anfield at the age of just 23, it's easy to see why those assessing that potential came to such a conclusion. Ekitike has been a breath of fresh air in a troublesome season for Liverpool, and he is almost certain to finish as the club's first leading goalscorer not named Mohamed Salah since 2017, when Philippe Coutinho's relatively modest haul of 14 topped the charts. Now a fully fledged France international, Ekitike insisted recently, in a post-match chat with a handful of reporters that included the Echo, that he had not set a target for himself. But after notching 2 against Newcastle United to move to 15 across all competitions, the next milestone of 20 would be a significant one for someone still adjusting to different surroundings and a new-look team experiencing a difficult transition. Ekitike was supposed to have been aided and abetted by £125 million Alexander Isak after his stunning and admittedly acrimonious British record move from Newcastle United was belatedly secured on September 1. Instead, the former Paris Saint-Germain starlet has had to shoulder much of the goal-scoring burden himself, with Isak struggling for fitness and then succumbing to injury. Throw in an ordinary campaign for out-of-sorts Cody Gakpo and a Mohamed Salah, who has quite often looked so bereft of his own otherworldly talents, and the pressure on Ekitike has perhaps reached unfair levels at times. That being said, the likable Frenchman has taken up the mantle, producing moments of genuine quality that hint at a prosperous future at Anfield. Those on the inside now see the next step of Ekitike's development to be able to piece together these sorts of performances across 90 minutes of Premier League intensity. Arne Slot has spoken at times about the need for him to do that, and it has been noticeable how some decision-making has been poor late on in games, as well as the execution of some passing and shooting as a result of fatigue and tiredness setting in. It's nothing out of the ordinary for a player still relatively new to life in the top flight of English football, but the leg break to Isak, suffered when scoring in the 2-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur in December, means Ekitike has been asked to play longer than he would have had the Sweden international been more readily available. It was noticeable in the early weeks of the season how often they traded places in games. It's a delicate balancing act for Slot, who must be mindful of not stretching the only senior number 9 he has available to him to breaking point at a time when Isak's recovery process goes on. Dijk has already been forced to undergo an MRI scan over a suspected hamstring injury last month, and while that was avoided, losing him for any period of time is an unthinkable prospect, given the paucity of forward options and the enormity of Champions League qualification. Looking at Isak's injury and recovery, for me injuries have gone full circle versus when I was playing, Michael Owen tells the Echo. If he would have picked up that injury 20 to 30 years ago, it would have been a lot worse than right now. If I would have had my career again and someone said tear your hamstring or break your leg and you're going to be out for the same amount of time, I would have taken the broken leg. You can absolutely come back from fractures or ligament injuries. The worst ones are a rupture of your hamstring, that leaves a scar and deprives you of speed in later years. So, yes, with today's medicine and recovery plans, absolutely he can be as good as he left off. He won't be better, and you tell yourself I'm going to come back fitter and better than before, but just to get back to the same level he was, this is a result. These injuries aren't good for the body and hard to come back from, but let's hope he comes back to the level he was at. Isak's return is still unknown, and Slot said it was still some way away when asked at a recent press conference. The former Newcastle man may still be able to play a meaningful part in this season, but longtime fans will recognize similarities between the current number 9 situation and that of 2004 club record capture, Djibril Cissé, who broke his leg just a few months into his Anfield career before returning later that season as a bit-part player from the bench for Rafa Benitez. Liverpool went on to win the Champions League that season, with Cissé scoring in the penalty shootout final win over AC Milan, but before Isak can envision doing likewise, the recovery process simply continues. It will surely be accepted behind the scenes that the club won't see the best of their ludicrously expensive striker until next season, when he has felt the benefit of a full and uninterrupted pre-season program. Owen adds, Isak can 100% be a success at Liverpool. He is total class. He's shown in the Premier League already what he can do, there is no question about his ability at all. It will take time to get back to full fitness, then his minutes will be managed to not to cause a recurrence of this injury.